Hey everyone, welcome back to another lesson here on the channel. Today we're going to be talking about how you can instantly tell if you should sell an Amazon FBA private label product. If that sounds like something you'd be interested in watching, be sure to stick around to the end, be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. But without further ado, let's get right into it. So we're here in my computer. We're just going to go to any market. So let's just start with like craft kits for toddlers. Okay, fine. And let's say you were considering any one of these products. Now this is a pretty big, broad category, but let's go with the paper plate art kit. Let's try that. So I'm really just trying to find an idea here that we could use as an example. Paper plate art kit. Looked like a good one. So this actually doesn't look too competitive. Yeah, this looks all right. I don't know if any of them are selling actually, but let's take a look. We'll find out. We'll pull up X-ray really quick. And don't worry, we'll get into exactly what today's video is about. We just need a quick example market. So let's see. Yeah, this will work because what I'm going to be teaching you here today doesn't really have anything to do with the quality of this market. It's going to be one thing that you could actually look for to tell if you should sell a product. And this isn't going to take very long to explain. A lot of people like to drag this out, but we're going to make it really simple and really easy for you to understand because I have reached out and asked what you guys wanted to see. And a lot of you seemed to need help with knowing what to pick and why. And I think everyone can do product research and they understand how to plug in filters, but it's when they get to a list of 10 or 20 ideas that they're like, I honestly don't know which one I should sell. There's basically two things that you need to keep in mind at all times when you're picking your Amazon product. So go grab your pen and a piece of paper and come back. I'll wait. Okay, I'm only going to wait that long. The first thing that you want to write down is that you need to find a product that you can afford to sell. So, I mean, that sounds like common sense, but common sense is not so common, especially when you start getting excited, seeing sales, you start over calculating what you can actually do. And that's something that I wish I had heard earlier is that, hey, sell something that maybe isn't going to make you as much or doesn't seem as exciting, but at least you'll be able to keep it in stock, keep it on page one. And all that rank that you fought to achieve in the beginning won't just go down the drain, right? You won't just be in this perpetual cycle of coming back in stock and trying to re-rank your product. So don't let your product go out of stock. And in doing so, I have this kind of rule of thumb. You should be able to afford 3 rounds of inventory without ever receiving a payment back. So if you have $6,000, you shouldn't probably start a product where the inventory startup costs can be more than $2,000. Does that make sense? Because you'll likely have to restock before getting paid. And you might have to order more than you originally ordered, maybe twice as much. So if you ordered 200 the first time at $10 a unit, all in, maybe this time you want to order 400. So that brings you up to your $6,000. So a lot of people would think, oh, if I have $6,000, I could, spend, maybe $5,500 to save a little bit for advertising. But I would say start there. So sell something that you know you can keep in stock. That's going to come down to when you go get quotes for your product. You could do this in the beginning, right? You don't have to wait until you know what you're going to sell to get quotes. You could start reaching out to suppliers as you find ideas that are in your maybe list, right? And figure out if you could sell. Try and use that 3-order rule of thumb. Now, the next thing that I wanted to bring up is selling a product where you can clearly be the best option. So honestly, sit down objectively and ask yourself, can I have a better listing and a better offer than anyone here? If what is already being provided is great, then you probably shouldn't sell that product. The biggest, I would say, the biggest cause of failure that I've seen with Amazon products and that I've seen with people who've talked to me personally, is that they launched a product that they just went in over their heads, right? So the product had 400 or 500 sellers. Some of the top performers were doing 6 figures in sales per month. All of the listings were professionally optimized. They had really high quality photography, really high quality copywriting. Those are all things that are stacking not in your favor, right? It's making basically a wall that you have to penetrate through to even make any kind of, notable sales. Okay. I made a video months ago explaining this principle of Wu Wei, the art of non-forcing. And I think that really applies. Now we're getting into stuff that, my students are learning in Savage University right now. The art of getting Amazon to basically push you to the top and not having to swim upstream against Amazon. So you want to basically look for areas where Amazon is begging for sellers to come list that product. That'll come in the form of when the traffic is high, but the sellers are low. So there's lots of customers searching for this product. There's lots of customers buying the few options that there are, but there's really just no one coming in with that really high quality listing. And guys, it's probably, if you're not finding these, it's probably because you're looking in the wrong place. These markets aren't usually the markets that make 6 figures per month. Okay, so scale back a little bit, right? I have this principle called apple picking. There's actually a free training you can go watch down below. It's called Amazon training. Just bring, a pen and a piece of paper. There'll be some principles you could take away in that video where I talk about finding these markets that are essentially like when you go apple picking, maybe there's this one tree that everyone is going to that tree, has the best apples, but there's 1,000 other trees and those apples are 90% as good as that one tree. And everyone's so focused on this. And that's what people do. They have the wrong perspective with Amazon products. All right, so lower your standards a little bit, sell something that you can keep in stock, okay? And sell something where you can be the best option. So ask yourself, can I have a better listing and better offer than all of these other sellers? And that's what I would do. So when I'm looking through this market, right, we pulled up this as an example, I would say, okay, there's really only about a half a page of results. I'm seeing lots of random stuff here. I'm seeing things that are art kits, but not necessarily paper stuff. We have a Cricut machine here. We have nail stamping plates and just various other examples. I mean, Glad paper plates, and I guess that's kind of relevant. Paper plate was in the search term, but when we come through here, I would start asking myself, okay, can I be better? So this isn't even the right thing, right? It's not paper plates. That's just craft kit. Can I be better than this seller? Seems like the top dog there. How is he performing? I don't even think we actually analyzed. I just started teaching you once we pulled this up. So we look at this seller here. Where's his revenue? There it is. 10,000 with how many reviews? That one has 450. There was one that had, what was the review count on that? 124. Where is that one? But what I'd start doing, start looking for my proof of concept. Are these sellers making sales? Of course, I want to sell something that has sales. I mean, you could look at their sales rank graph down there. That one's doing not so good, but a lot of these, specifically this one has a good sales rank graph, it looks like. It looks like they have about a 20, 30,000 sales rank consistently. That one is definitely doing well as well. See, yeah, they have 27,000 sales rank. This one is not doing too great. So I would actually know what I would do. I would take, this one's doing a little bit better. I would take this one, I would reverse ASIN search it, figure out why they have the best sales rank, figure out where they're ranking. Maybe there's a bunch of keywords that these listings aren't using and they're ranking for things that they aren't. And then I would say, could I have a better listing than this one, right? Is there any way that I could do a 20 pack with better things? Why do they have 4 stars? Can I fix that? Or is that something that's inherently going to be an issue with anything that I sell? I'll leave you with that. Go try and implement what you learned here today in this free YouTube video and come back to the channel next time and learn something else. So be sure to like down below. It really helps get this video out to more people, helps my channel grow. If you appreciate the content, I appreciate you doing so. And be sure to subscribe so you don't miss my future videos. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Later.